everybody, welcome back. I'm making another video and I'm laughing nervously. This has been a bad day. This was a bad day for me, but tonight I got the idea. I was like, you know, I watched the first, I'll talk about that later. And I came on the computer and I was just looking around and I was like, you know, I got a stack of movies here that I have picked up. I think the last pickup video I did was August of last year. And even though I'm a poor boy, poor boy, every once in a while a sale came up and I was able to pick up something within August and now March of 2018. 2018, can you believe that? I'm still pissed there's no flying cars. But I figured, you know, let me do a pickup video to pick up my channel because those get the most views, it seems. I have a group of movies here that I have picked up, and they're not in any major order like the earliest one I picked up to the last one I picked up. I was just going through and I had piles and I was like, oh, I bought that one, I bought this one, I bought that one. So let's go through them, shall we? If you're familiar with my channel, which I'm sure you are, where's Iga? Oh, here. Well, these two. Let's get these out of the way because of the movies that are in the way. If you're familiar with my channel, on some of my defendings in the last few months, I said that I've fallen in love with Indian cinema, and I've watched maybe 30, 40 movies. That many, yes. All types. I mean, dramas, comedies, dramedies, action films. And the first one I ever watched was a film, and I did an IMO reviews of this, a film about a guy who falls in love with a woman, and there's another guy that is also in love with the woman, but he's a bad guy, a bad guy, and he murders the good guy, and the good guy gets reincarnated as a fly, and basically goes on a revenge thing to destroy this guy's life, which he does. And the movie's called Iga, or Iga, which means fly. And yeah, he's holding a needle. Oh, there. And yeah, there is a scene in there, if you watch my IMO reviews, where he flies the needle right to the guy's eye. It's pretty damn amazing. It is a hilarious film. You know, I love foreign films. I love all kind of foreign films, and it was only until the end of last year that I became aware of Indian cinema. I didn't know they were doing such big, broad stuff. Action films and adventure films and comedies. And I'm getting to learn the actors' names and things like that. But that was like an early purchase for me because it was last year. And then I stumbled on another movie that was a big, brooding action flick. I did another IMO review on them, both of them, because they're two movies that tell the full story. Both of them, Indian movies, are 3 hours long. Did you know that? With an intermission. Every one of them, even the comedies. It's unbelievable. So the next one I did watch was Baahubali, which everybody should see. Everybody should see this flick, man. I mean, if you like big, sprawling action flicks with thousands of people in a battle with axes and arrows and all kind of stuff, great thing. And then there was Baahubali 2, which was the sequel, not the sequel, well, it was a continuation of the story, and it concludes it. And these two movies were, and they look beautiful on Blu-ray. They really, really do. Because the copies I originally saw was Mrs. Torrance, and the subtitles were a little misspelled and things like that. So after I fell in love with these two movies, I had to pick them up on Blu-ray, which I did, and there they are. Okay, like I said, let's get through these. The next one that I actually picked up, even though I have like 5 on my save for later, because I just haven't bought them yet and can't afford them right now. There's another one here that's called One, which is right now in editing stage for another IMO Reviews. One, which is a rock star who realizes he has a mysterious past that think of a Rubik's Cube. That's all I'll say. Think of a Rubik's Cube. So many twists and turns and great stuff in the thing. You know, they're pretty much bare bones, but they do have disc art, which is cool. But this is a great action flick. This is action all the way. Like, these are big action adventure films. This is like a Steven Seagal, a Bruce Willis action film of America, but it's Indian. It's Indian. Not the feather, it's the other, you know, the good stuff. The good, well, not to say the Indian though with the feather is bad, but you know what I mean. I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my last pickups, but this is next to the original. This is my favorite of the quadrilogy. There's 4 of them, I believe. There's the first one, the second one, this one, and then there's one that takes place in a prison. Return of the Living Dead 3 from, is it Scream Factory? I believe it is. Lionsgate, Dolby. I can't see because I'm blind. Vestron Video. I don't know if this is Scream Factory or if it's another thing. But it did come with the slipcase, which was like, yay! Not that I care. But I freaking love this movie. I love Julie, man. Julie creates herself into one of the most iconic, in my mind, visually looking villains, sympathetic villains. And I would love, I wish McFarlane was still doing Movie Maniacs, because I would have loved him to do this figure with all the glass shards in her face and the nails coming out of the fingers and all that stuff. Really cool movie. Most of you guys know it. Yeah, it's just Vestron Collector's Series. Okay. Another horror film I don't think I talked about was another favorite of mine from a long time ago. I remember watching this movie maybe 4 or 5 times before I returned it to the video store, the VHS video store. I saw this originally on VHS, and like I said, before bringing it back, I watched it almost like every day for a week. There was something eerie and creepy and frickin' I loved it. I had beer and pizza and lasagna. It just brings me back to that time, and it's called One Dark Night. Which is kind of like an initiation thing. The kids have to spend a night in a mausoleum, and horrific things happen, including lots of maggots. I really love this movie, and when it came out, I had to get it. And it's still, to me, in my mind, it still holds up. I'm an old fart, and I still freaking love the movie. It's not scary. It's Adam West is in this. The Batusi. I'll have a milk, please. Again, these are all out of order because I'm pretty sure I bought this around Christmas time. It came down way low in price, and I saw it and I loved it, and torrents and so when it came down in price, I had to pick up the Blu-ray, and it's the night before with old Seth Rogen? Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Seth Rogen. When I said that, I was like, wait, am I saying Joe Rogan? No, it's Seth Rogen. Anyway, funny-ass flick. And if you have something, please partake while watching. It makes it even better. Woo! Speaking of things that you should partake while you watch, heavy metal. Heavy metal. Oh, another great Ralph Bakshi film that I saw back in the day on the big screen when it came out, and loved it. Had it on VHS, had it on a Laserdisc, and they finally brought it out in blue. And of course, I waited till the price to come down before I picked it up, and I think I got it for like $10, which is a real good deal. But fun movie, anthology about the big green, what do they call it, the narc? What is it? I do these videos and I get all out of breath because I'm just rambling. Well, I'm trying to go quick. You know, I had it and then it just went flip, flied away. The nar something. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, it's like a anthology. There's like 4 or 5 different stories, 6, and they're all pretty good. And some of them are drama, some of them are comedy. The last one is the longest story, which features her on her big bird, Kara. For as much as I've seen this movie, I don't know anything about it. Good movie, though. Good animation. This is recent. And again, because it came down low in price, because I was waiting for it. And I did see it before. I actually liked it. I thought it was great. And I don't understand the hate this movie has. I kind of understand the hate for Prometheus. But I've grown to love that because I've seen analyzation videos on what it all means, and it makes it much easier to spoonful down the sugar. But Alien Covenant, I don't know what the hate is for this movie. I mean, people were complaining there was no alien in Prometheus, and now they put an alien in here, and people didn't like it. I don't know. I like the whole thing, the whole David thing, and the alien stuff is really kind of cool and gory, and I don't mind a little alien running around. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, man. Then the last a pickup video. You know, sometimes I crack myself up. Didn't Han Solo say that? No, he said, sometimes I amaze even me. I don't know what he said in Star Wars. I mentioned in the last pickup video that I'm keeping an eye on it, and I'm picking up every creation by Hong Kong Rescue. And their latest one was Jackie Chan's Wheels on Meals, which is again another fantastic transfer, remaster. It's a funny ass movie, and Jackie fights Benny the Jet at the end, which I always loved their fights. I would love Gorgeous to be remastered like this, because I love the fight at the end with oh, and is it Dragons Forever? That's the other one where he fights Benny the Jet, I believe. I call him Benny the Jet. He's goes by another name, but his nickname is like Benny the Jet, like The Rock and Dwayne Johnson. You know, it's like that. But anyway, look up Hong Kong Rescue if you want to see total uncut, remastered, freaking tons of extras of the early Jackie Chan films and some Asian films, like John Woo's Hardboiled and Killer's coming, and a lot of other stuff is coming. I think not Chinese Ghost Story, but one of those Asian ones. Big South Park fan. I got the complete 20th season. I know they're already released the 21st season, which is $50 or whatever. I got this for $12.99. It's like when they release these on Blu-ray, they release them around the next season, and then they come real down low in price. And so the next season of South Park, the 21st season will come down in price, and I'll pick that up. But love South Park. Not the best season, but this has the member berries, which is, remember the Return of the Jedi? Oh, remember the bikes? And this one I've been wanting to get for a long time, and it came down real cheap. And I think it was like $4.99 or something, and it's time to buy it, and never seen it. Nominated for Best Picture. Just watched it the other day and freaking loved it. Whiplash. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, see it, see it, see it. Great movie. Great, great, great stuff. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And of course, my second favorite horror movie of all time. You probably know what my first favorite, because I've said it so many times. But this movie, I freaking loved. I had the 16mm print of it at one time. I actually showed it. We have block parties. I don't know if you know what a block party is, but they pretty much close down a block, and everybody comes out and they barbecue and they drink and they have music, and everybody they get the bouncy castle and all this other stuff, and then they open the fire hydrant, and it's usually in the summer, and the kids, everybody runs around. And at night, I actually showed my 16mm print to this on a white sheet in front of a crowd of people. And I'm sure most of them have seen it because it's an older movie, but I'll never forget that memory. But I've had this all the time, and I actually have another Blu-ray, which from reading BluRay.com, was probably considered one of the best transfers at that time. Well, lo and behold, the great Criterion released Night of the Living Dead finally. And yeah, it looks spectacular. It looks freaking amazing. Probably better than it should, because that old VHS tape that I had and that old 16mm was dirty and grimy, and it very newsreel like, and this almost makes it like a new movie just filmed in black and white, which is good. But when I watched it originally, it was just like this dark movie you watched late at night at midnight and stuff. And it's the old Criterion. Everybody has shown it off. I'm not going to show it off, but I got it finally. Of course, I picked this up. It came down again. Most all of these came down in price. So that's why I'm buying them, because I just don't have the money to buy full price like I used to. This is the 3D version of SpiderMan Homecoming. Really enjoyed this flick. Thought it was funny. I think they finally got a decent Peter Parker. I really do. There's a guilty pleasure even with the hated film with Andrew Garfield with the electric guy, but 3D really did something with me, and I really kind of liked that, and it's a guilty pleasure. But this was so much better, and this is great, and I can't wait to see. I love how they connected Civil War in this, but I can't wait to. Oh, and Michael Keaton was amazing in this. There's that scene in the car where they have that conversation. I'm not going to say what in case anybody didn't see it, but I can't wait to see what they do with Infinity Wars. Although I hear Spidey's going to have legs, like more than 2. Spoiler. I don't think I talked about this, but as much as I love these Marvel films, which might be my favorite Marvel films, I got the old Steelbook from Best Buy, I believe, of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I actually wish that they did the cassette player again, like they did with the first Guardians of the Galaxy, where it was a cassette player and the name was on the spine and the the mixtape. But in this case, they did this button thing, and I wouldn't mind if it was just the button and not Groot, not Baby. Get rid of Baby Groot and just have the machine that he had to go and and make that the Steelbook. But with Baby Groot in there, it was just kind of like, they should have just did the red button thing. Or the cassette, player with Volume 2. I love those movies. Guardians movies are probably my favorite Marvel films. Okay, these two I talked about in separate videos because they were gifts. LJ from LJ's movie. Oh God, LJ, I miss you. You haven't done. I hope your move is doing good. LJ's movie reviews. He sent me Terminator 2 3D. Like I said, I did a separate video on this, so an unboxing. So I'll just go past that. And then Sasha from I Ain't Got Time to Bleed sent me Valerian 3D. Which is only available in 3D in the UK, and he was kind enough, such a great, friendly kindness, sent me the 3D version, and I really appreciate it. I love this movie. I'm sorry, naysayers, I'm sorry. I freaking love this movie. So I have it now, and it's good. Now, I don't think, because I haven't done my DVD defending videos, because they're all still in boxes, and I'm looking to get a shelf so then I can alphabetize them, and then I can do like I did with, you know, defending, where it's A through B and C and all that type of stuff. Time for a break. There is a show that I fell in love with years ago. It's a Canadian show, and these are the DVDs. The first two, they only lasted 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons never came out on Blu-ray, but they only came out on DVD. And I picked them up because that was the only way you can get them. And it's Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. Hilarious show. Really funny show. And there's season 2. And about a month or 2 ago, I got notice, because I belong to their club, that they finally did because they left it on a cliffhanger in season 2, and they finally did a conclusion, an animated conclusion, a cartoon, if you will, and it's called Todd and the Book of Evil, The End of the End, and this is the animated final, which wraps everything up of the series, which is just so great. Comes in a, oh, how does it come out? Come out wherever you are. Oh, it is a slipcover. Okay, this is awesome, if you know the show. It's tight. That's what she said. There's the cover of the book. There's the back of the book. I don't want anything to fall out. You get the actual Blu-ray and I believe a DVD, and you get the soundtrack from the movie there, which is mainly heavy metal rock songs. And oh yeah, and you get a booklet. You get this booklet, which is kind of connected. You can't see it, but you get the idea. Great set, and I believe this is limited to X amount of copies. Anyway, go on eBay, go on Amazon, see if it's still available. Buy all 3 seasons. Well, 2 seasons in the movie. 2 seasons in a movie. Oh, I miss Community. But it's a really funny-ass show. I mean, it's like a monster show. It's, you know, the school is called Crowley High, and if you know who Crowley is, that kind of makes things. But it's this book that gives powers to overcome your nerdiness, as it were. I mean, a fat chick makes everybody else fat, you know, or something like that, you know. If you want to be a rock star, you become this big rock. And there's repercussions, and it's a fun show. It's a fun-ass show. Look for Todd in the Book of Pure Evil. It's a really, really good show. But that's it, man. That's pretty much caught up since August of last year to March of this year. I don't have anything else coming. What was the last thing I got? I think I already talked about it. That was, might have been Alien was the last one I got. Oh no, Night of the Living Dead was the last movie that they actually purchased and I got. So I haven't gotten anything since then, and I'm just waiting for prices to come down. Haven't gotten Thor. Haven't gotten all those others that are out there. But when the price comes down, I'll probably pick them up. You know, slipcover or no slipcover. But anyway, that's it. How long has this been going? Oh, it's about a half hour. So anyway, let's wrap this up. It's old Roger D on Channel Donstar. Hey, thanks for watching. And happy birthday if today's your birthday. And don't forget church and Sunday school on the weekend. And we'll see everybody else in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.